Okay then, hello everyone, new day, new me. This is Radostin Nanov from 5 Factor Software, recording one day after the feedback which I provided for Lake HEMA number 3. So this one will be a video about my performance and to actually be a performance analysis. So I'll be going through essentially all of my exchanges. Big shout out to Maria, who was my assistant and partner for this, and she filmed basically everything except for I think one exchange where there is a small cut. Everything should be there. And the interesting thing which I'm going to do for this is I'm going to do ranking in two different ways. So I'm going to do points according to how they did it at Lake HEMA, which means 3 points for head and torso, 2 points for extremities. Full afterblow. What I call full afterblow or full deductive afterblow means that if you hit my extremity, my arm or my leg, and I hit you on the head afterwards, it's an afterblow, I get 1 point. Because it's your 2 minus 3, it's minus 1 to you, so 1 to me. Essentially, you take the higher score and you substitute the lower score from it. It doesn't really matter what's the order in which they arrive, you just always substitute the higher from the lower from the higher. This means that if we both trust each other, it's 0. If I hit you on the head, that's a stopper. So after a head hit, no afterblow. Same goes for leading arm when we are fencing with one-handed weapons. So not with longsword, which is going to be the second thing. I did okay in this tournament. I was not too happy with myself, but I'm on HEMA ratings, which suggests I'm not exactly average. And even on HEMA ratings, I am, I believe, top 30% or something like that. So I'm definitely not a leading fencer by any stretch of the imagination. But I guess above average. Okay, I'm an above average competitive fencer. All right, so without that much further ado, I'm going to start. And one thing which we're going to see is that I'm also trying to judge in the right way, the way in which they do in turn how, and that also my windows for afterblow and for double are very small. So first we have, sorry, not very small, very large, compared to what it's done currently in Western Europe, compared to what it's done in Central Europe, where they have a very tight double window, very tight afterblow window. Sometimes there are things which are judged as a afterblow, and I would say they're a double. And here I'll try to apply, for right of way, I'll try to apply right of way as it should be. But for afterblow, I'll judge the points as they did in Lake HEMA, but I'll apply the longer afterblow window, which I'm more used to in the Balkans, because this is what will be my next competition. So my next competition is right of way, that's Trnhau, which would be in about 1 week from now. And 3 weeks from now is Sofia Cross Swords, which would be an afterblow tournament with a long window for doubles, long window for afterblows. So I'm judging according to those two definitions of double and afterblow, but the points are still Lake HEMA points. All right, my first match is with Carlo Riccardi in sidesword, my first match of the day. Okay, just testing each other out. That's the first match, trying to engage. Apparently no hit. I didn't see any here. Trying to engage again, and that was hit. So let's go back a bit and take a look at what happened. So here we have Carlo, and my opponents will always be blue because I'm red. So I'm not going to switch around. So sometimes on the scorecard you see me in blue, sometimes I'll be in red, but on my scores, which would appear on the top, I will always be the red guy. He attempts a cut actually. I thought it was a thrust, which I parry. I thought for a moment he maybe hits my hand, but here when I was reviewing it I saw that that's a parry. I try to thrust, he displaces, and I turn around and I hit in the very hard to judge area exactly what it is. That's clean right of way for me. And I'm not sure exactly where it landed. Judges said that it's torso, 3 points, so okay, I guess. Okay, that's a pure double in my book, even with right of way. So you see, both of us are starting. Both of us extend their arms at this point. So here we start, extended arms at this point. So in the Phoebus rule set, in turn how the attack is judged as started when the arm is extended. So here my arm is extended, but it's down. A big problem which I noticed for myself in this tournament is that I fence with hand down when I trust. And the point where we both extended our arms, yeah, it was the same time. My arm was definitely lower. Okay, attempts cut to my arm, kind of parries, attempts a trust, which I apparently parry. Okay, that's a trust, parry. And I cut. Here is a very flat, but I actually twist. And I think I snap on the upper arm, which is after blow, 2 points, right of way, 1 point. Okay. I think they gave that. No, they didn't. The judges thought that he reached my hand. I don't think he did. That's why I looked puzzled. And he didn't feel like he did either. So I'm trying to feint here, and I did manage it. So 2 points hand hit and 1 right of way point. At that point, I just need one more touch in order to go out successfully. It's up to 8. Now that's a bit interesting. That exchange here. So here we have blue attempting to hit. I parry. Now this passes the right of way to me. And you see that blue immediately, like after the parry, that's a hit, immediately twists and has a remiss. Whereas I parry and I'm powering up and I hit. So that one I'm not really sure how to judge it in right of way, because he hit immediately, remissed, he didn't try to stop my motion. However, my motion was big. So it is quite possible that it would be an attack on prep from him from right of way. But either way, I'm not exactly sure how to judge it. I'm not going to switch it, but first time around I gave the right of way to me, and the after blow points were definitely to him. Okay, but actually for after blow points, yes, they awarded them to him, but I'm judging that here I was actually already charging my parry. So I parried in hanging, and I was already charging my attack, and yeah, sure, he made a remiss. I was surprised he was able to, because he was jumping over me. But yeah, it could have been a double, which is why you see this with right of way 4 to me, and after blow 3 to him, in spite of the fact that he has no right of way points. That's a clean trust. Nothing to talk about, he managed to reach me. And that apparently is a flat. Okay, so here I gain the right of way, I chase, I miss. Because he dodges, he trusts me to body. And here I'm quite sure that this is not a flat. Like you can actually see the angle where it's landing. My sword is behind his head. And there we go. Now it looks flat from this angle, but keep in mind that he's looking towards me in this moment. So that was given to him as a trust and no after blow from me, which to me was surprising because they said that it's flat and I think it was a hit. So that's what it's reflected on the score above. Blow after blow, right of way to him, but my after blow negates his blow, so I think the final score was 7-6. The actual score was 7-9 for my opponent. So now Daniele mandatory sidesword. Daniele, I believe, outplayed me, so I think that this goes to him. I don't remember. Yeah, he did. Daniele is a better fencer than me. Attempt to trust, he parries, I parry, he manages to hit. Let's see where he hits. Checks his distance. Very nice exchange overall. He attempts a hit, I parry. You can see that I'm kind of leaning backwards, which is not good. I attempt a hit, he parries, he turns around, hits, I'm not sure where because of all the blur happening. Probably torso. Let's go that the judges saw it properly. So 1 right of way and 3 points on the after blow. I threaten. Good reaction from Daniele, decent reaction from me, trying to threaten again. So Daniele is a very patient fencer, and you say this play me a very bad joke in the end due to his patience. This exchange lasted about 40 seconds, from my memory. The time limit is 2 minutes, 120 seconds. A lot of positioning, and there you go, I attempt to go in, and how did they judge that? Well, they judged it as a blow after blow. So here and I also judge it as a blow after blow, by the way. I attempt to thrust. I mostly miss, but I'm also parried a bit. From here, we both power up. And Daniele goes out and his foot is still in. He hits me on the torso, I hit him on the head. He has right of way because he parried my first attack, but it's a double. For some reason I got points here. I don't know why. Maybe they say it was an afterblow, but to me that's definitely a double. I mean, I'm going back now. If you're wondering what's going on, you can definitely see that I was already moving my attack. And he reaches me on the leg, so that's 2 points to him. And I reach him on the head, 3 points to me. But that was not an afterblow, that's a double. So it shouldn't have been any points for me, and it's reflected difference on the score. There I have 1 point, here I have 0 points. I attempt to thrust. I believe I reach. And then he hits me on the head. So torso, head. You see the blade bent at this point. And not head, actually, that's shoulder from my angle. Torso, shoulder. Should be 1 point to me, right of way to me, because I definitely started first, but apparently it was torso head or torso or a double maybe. To the judges, I'm not sure, but from this angle to me it looks like shoulder, so I'm going to give it just 1 point. And at this stage you're going to see my confusion, because we ended on time. And the actual time on this video for this match is 99 seconds. It's not 120, and there are no missing exchanges. So I'm really confused about why we ended on time. And if you look on my channel, there was a video just from yesterday discussing time issue which I had with this tournament. Go and watch that. But basically, time is really weird on Lake HEMA. Marco Campocha, regardless, I think Daniele should have won this, but he should have won this on exchanges, not on time. It just is unsatisfying. Marco Campocha, who is a relatively new fencer, I think, if I remember correctly. All right. Yep, he cuts me on the hand. There. I very arguably cut him in the next action through the head as well. I am not really sure that this is an afterblow. It may very well be a double. In spite of that, it's apparently an afterblow and I apparently gain points. Yeah, but right way is definitely for Marco here, because he hit me first. Basically, there's no way with an afterblow that the right way wouldn't be to the first and to the first. And we don't see this at all, what's going on, which is not nice. Let's see how we judge that. Basically no exchange, sure, I agree. Well, not no exchange, but no points. However, if we look at the way in which the attack goes, I'm extending first. So here, I think there's a double right here. I'm hitting him on the head, he's hitting me on the torso. But because of the posture, and if you look, this on the right is his sword, I think I extended first, which gives me the right play. So, yep, afterblow score stays the same, but right way is now even, 1-on-1. He attempted the head hit, missed. Attempt to thrust. He lands on my yeah, torso as well. But right of way wise, you know, I'm engaging forwards and he's not extending yet. So afterblow, no change in score, right of way to me. May have been a double actually, not an afterblow, realistically speaking. At this stage, you don't even remember why I have more points for me than... He attempts, and that I agreed with them. Here, I attempt to thrust, he parries. I attempt to parry, but my parry is too high, and he cuts me on the arm. Then I try to cut him and miss. So, 2 points to him, and right of way is even now, 2-2. I attempt to engage. I stop because I see he will parry. I very often do that. Very often when I see that someone will parry, I get back, which is a bad idea. He attempts thrust. He lands the thrust. And I missed the afterblow. That's a landed thrust from me. So that's 3 points to me. 5-4. For that was Marco, right? Yeah, it's Marco. And right of way is 3-3. And that's one of the points where we lost what's going on. But here we're going into extra time, and if we didn't go inside extra time, or are we? I guess we are, yeah. Because basically what happens here is if the last exchange ended 5 seconds within 5 seconds of the end, then you continue and you have an extra long exchange after that. Though here I'm confused what was being called. I think it was time, and I think that here he has the advantage, so if we time out he wins. So I have to be more aggressive, and you see that my opponent is kind of passive, which makes sense because time is on his side. I believe, if I remember correctly, it's been 10 days. Well, more than 10 days by now. It's been 12 days. I pressure. By the way, if he goes out, that's just a warn. That's a yellow card, and yellow cards are not points. So I have to hit him. And I apparently do. Let's see what happened, because I didn't catch it for some reason. I think I'm focusing way too much on commenting and I don't see properly what's going on. Honestly, I don't see what happened here. First time around I probably saw it, because it definitely awarded points somewhere. No, torso maybe? Maybe torso, maybe hits my arm and I hit the torso. No, apparently only his arm. Yep, only his arm. Yeah, because he attempts an attack which he doesn't quite even start, and I hit him on the arm. Leading arm, 2 points for me and 1 right of way point. Okay, and that was the end for me for sidesword, because I lost 2 and won 1, so that's 2 to 1 losses, and I was something like 27th and 25 people qualified or something like that. Overall, I'm not happy with my, I'm satisfied-ish with my sidesword performance, and I think that the one match which I lost in the beginning was very even, and I could have won that, and that other match in the middle, which I lost as well, I think that I could have probably lost that on points rather than on time. Overall, I'm satisfied, but I tend to do those very long preparations, low thrusts for some reason. And when I'm very close, I tend to lean back, which I shouldn't. I should just jump back with my whole body rather than leaning from from the middle, from the core. Okay. With Lorenzo or longsword. Okay, it froze a bit, but you can be sure there was no exchange here. Lorenzo won, and he definitely did won. That's a one-handed thrust. I missed the afterglow. No point going back. 1 point to him. Yeah, one-handed blows are 1 point less. So if you hit the extremities, arms or legs with one-handed, that's 1 point. If you hit the head with one-handed, that's 2 points. Okay, he hits me. Nothing here, apparently. Yeah, flat. I remember. So he attempted something, and you can see as he goes forward, he is flat forward, starts, hits with the flat, so nothing. Attempt an afterblow because I felt something, so it would be an afterblow. I see him going to parry above, and I don't think I make contact. I instinctively twist around and make a Mittelhau, not the proper Zwerg, which he parries. We disengage. He got points for that. He got a thrust on the legs or a hit on the legs or so. Yeah, he must have gotten a hit on the legs, but that was flat. So you can see that above, not giving him points. That's one of the advantages on the camera. I can see what's going on, and the judges don't, because they don't have the camera and they don't have slow motion. And they don't have frame by frame like I'm doing right now. He trusts me one-handed. I try to afterblow. I think I'm actually reaching for this one. No, I'm not. I'm confused about the score, so let's keep it again. I'm talking too much and I'm not focusing on the actual fight. Right, attempts a one-handed. That's flat. Yep, he attempts a one-handed hit, which ends up here, actually flexes on the sword, ends up flat, and attempt an afterblow, which actually, very arguably, that lands on head. But I think it's also not, I think he sort of moves up and I bump into his shoulder. So that's a whole load of nothing. Two flats, essentially. I think this is how I judged it here on the first view. I'm viewing this for the second time. So attempt one-handed thrust, fail. He attempts one-handed thrust and fails. Attempt to chase. That was a decent exchange, which I gave 2 points for. So here I'm chasing aggressively and trying to... I saw that he's going to... He in fact does. No, I completely miss, I think. Then I recover into a hanging guard. He attempts to cut. Very nice twist. from my opponent here and lands on hands. And for some reason, I think I tried to void backwards with my hands and kind of very close to the body because that gives me more time, and I didn't. And then I was just too late to afterblow. Yeah, so points on right of way, points on afterblow. He's the better fencer. Okay, I got given points for the trust here. Yep, I engage and I lean. And here I don't see what's going on because it's blurry. And yep, I think yep. Thank you, Lorenzo. You can see him raising his arm. I wouldn't have been able to see this on video. I apparently reached his head. And that's nothing, essentially. He attacks with the trust, but I've already started. It's a double. So at this point, I've started, and that's the point where he starts his attack. And it's a double. Not sure if I'm not flat, judging by the angle of the blade. Probably not, because I'm not actually cutting head. If I was cutting head, that would have been flat. But somewhere around this point, I turned around and I hit short-edged on his hand. Or maybe it was no quality from either side. Unfortunately, I'm hiding the action. Okay, he parries, he hits me. Or not. Let's look at it again. Okay, he definitely does parry. And he definitely does hit. So I'm not sure why am I not giving any pop. Ah, wait. It's possible that's actually a hand hit. And followed by a hand hit. No. Oh, there we go. I gave the points. I paused too soon. Yep, 2 points for hitting me on the hands and a right of way point. And that's the exchange which is missing, sort of. Apparently, I hit him on a low priority target and he hit me on a high priority target, but I'm just copying what the judges said, basically, for this one, because we don't have the footage. Yep, that reaches my hand probably. Or not, because I'm not awarding the points. Let's see. No. I'm not... No. Simultaneous one-handed actions, which you see him reaching down and then he starts turning back. Nothing. A whole lot of nothing. Here I know I'm losing, so I should be aggressive. And finally an exchange, which is worth talking a bit more about. You can see me preparing down for some reason, and my opponent extends. And in an afterblow rule set, that's, I believe, a double. Like, I'm landing straight on the head, he's landing in my body. But in right of way, it's right of way to him. There you go, right of way 5. And did I give actually any other points as well? I don't think I should have. Yep, right way 5. But it's double on the afterblow rule set. Orlando, longsword. Now that's perfect, or one with blue. In more ways than one. Oh my god, this would be an hour-long video. Okay, well, I hope you enjoy this. That's a clean trust. to the head from me. Not much to discuss. That's a double. Oh no. I land. Yeah, it is a double. I think, strictly speaking. Yeah, you can see that I'm trusting and he's already started his action. Here, that's the point of impact and he's already moving forward. So I think that should not be an afterblow. That should be a... No, maybe. Maybe it's an afterblow. Because, yeah, you can say that he's preparing still. Okay, so I trust him on the arms. Hits me. Does he? I think he hits me on the head. So 1 point to him on the afterblow rule set. Definitely priority for me. So yeah, you can see that I've reflected this on the score on my first viewing. Okay, my camera woman is trying to dodge the judge. Let's see what happened. Blue attempts a trust. By the looks of it, maybe lands on arms. Then migrates down to make a slice-ish on the torso. And I slice off on the body. You can see the big motion here, and I'm pulling my arms towards me. So let's see how I judged that initially. 2 points. Yeah, it's possible my slice was flat here. Because definitely lands on my arms, and that, yeah, I don't turn enough. I end up flat. Okay, good. I agree with my... I agree with the past Radostin. That's the correct call. That's... I've judged it as right of way and points to me as well. Why did I do that? Well, here he makes an attack which I void, so I was forward. He tries to cut me off and I void it. And I go above, and he's trying to go Matrix style, jumping backwards. And I hit his arms. Meanwhile, he hits me with the lats, maybe, on my arms. So, after blow rule set, I'll give a flat from him, and 2 points to me for hitting on the arms. A right of way rule set, because I voided his first attack, priority should be on him to parry and not to counter into my attack. So right of way 1 point to me, and after blow 2 points to me. Of course, that's not the actual score on the scorecard, because again, I have video review, and also I have a different judging style compared to the judges. Just that's big impact by itself. All right, double with right of way, because he's preparing. You can see I've already extended and he's not moved his sword forward yet. He's definitely jumping in, but I'm also jumping in and my hands are extended. He's aren't. And I glance him on the neck here. My sword goes then behind him. And he glances me on the neck here as well. So that's a double with right of way for me. Okay, I judge that as a cut on the arms. There we go. Blade alignment is okay until this point, and at the moment when it's impacted, it slices off with the flat. I think it may be fine, but I'm not sure again. And then he attempts to afterblow, but I'm actually doing this quite well. You can see how I'm immediately going up and applying pressure to the sword. And I'm not stopping, and I'm not... something which I did a lot with sidesword, which I'm not seeing that much here, is I'm not bending at my waist backwards. I'm actually continuing to push in, which pays off ultimately. I don't think that this afterblow, which he does sort of lands to my back, if you look at it here, has any quality whatsoever. And I'm pushing him in a bit because I have my inertia, and 2 points to me and a right way point to me. With Manuel Gualaencio specifically. Not sure if this isn't his first tournament. This is Federico Malaguti in the background. Here he attempts to reach me one-handed, but actually it looked like he maybe did. However, if you take a look, he doesn't. And I'm Oberlaufen, I'm above him. Attempt to reach the arm. Fortunately, I don't, because this allows me then to directly thrust to the body, giving me 3 points and the right of way. But this kind of shows a weakness which I typically have. I thrust too low, but I don't protect properly against low thrusts either, because I'm a bit tall. I'm not very tall, I'm 182, 183 roughly, which means that on those low thrusts, I find it very hard to drop low enough to parry. Okay, next exchange. I thrust to neck, very arguable to neck. I'm not really sure if it isn't torso, which is a stop thrust, and he thrusts me to the chest. But because no afterblow after head hit, and we count the neck as a head hit, and you can actually see that even if I thrust the chest, it's definitely bending inwards towards him. That's a bit dangerous because it's under the mask. That's why we wear blade catchers, that's why we wear collars, throat protectors, gorgets, because that may happen. And now it's no longer under mask. And you see that he's not injured. And you see me apologizing because it was a hard thrust. 3 points to me on afterblow and a point in right of way. Now he knows he has to push, so he's going to become more aggressive. That was a whole load of nothing initially, so I thought maybe I would reach him on the arm. I did not. I miss, and maybe glance off the... No, I think I just miss. He tries to attack. Kinda reaches me with the flat on the shoulder. I flat him to the head. So I think that's 2 flats. He flats me on the shoulder here, this frame. Yeah, maybe if he was moving left to right, but he's moving forward. If he was moving left to right, I would have said that that's a cut, but he's just pushing forward. I flat him to the head. No points for flats, no matter where. And nothing. Yeah, I was mentioning Federico Malaguti because he did a very nice recap of the tournament. Okay, he thrusts, does not reach the head, same tempo. I'm leaning at the waist, which is completely wrong. I attempt to reach him. I think this is he catches my blade. All right. I don't remember this point. Yeah, he catches my blade, and or he just closes his. It looks like he catches it, but he doesn't. Or maybe I spring off, and then nothing. That's a flat or just Nothing. Maybe hit to the arms. Maybe after blow, but I think nothing of quality. So that's reflected in the after blow and right away. Right. He knows he has to be aggressive, and that's a double. I'm not sure how I judge this, but you can see he started his attack maybe a bit earlier, 1 frame earlier. Here I've also started. His arms extend first, no doubt about that. He lands torso, I land head. I think that this is a double, maybe priority blue. Yeah, okay. Past Radostin was on the same opinion. Yep, double priority red. You can see me extending. I reach first. That's a thrust to the body, and then it slides off. And then he lands on top of me. Double priority red. Nothing apparently. I mean, I guess so. That's the frame where we start our attacks. Yep. You see that both arms start extending. And he lands first, and I land immediately after. But we both started at the same time. Whoop. Double. Pure double, I think. That's nothing. And that was a double with right of way for blue, according to what I've said. Yeah. You can definitely see him. I think I judged this based on the footwork. Like, this is where he's extended. I'm not sure, though, if it's right of way to blue. Because at that point, I'm preparing backwards. No, like, look. I'm preparing back. I'm pulling in. And that's the point where blue would be fully extended, and 1 frame later I have my full extension. Not very sure on that. But yeah, I think priority blue is good. And that was a hit to the torso, I believe. Arm, actually. It would have been the torso, but look, his right arm going up. He's not trying to parry it with the arm. That's stupid. He's not target substituting. He's just raising his arm a bit. And then I thought maybe he hits me on the arm after that. Yep, that's an arm hit afterwards. And you see he has good blade alignment, and then immediately after the hit it goes flat. This is very often seen. Blade alignment is okay, hits me on the arms, below the guard. Blade alignment is flat. Very common. So blow after blow, to me. Blows to the shoulder, right of way point. For me, Eduardo Campagnolo. That's eliminations. That match is my worst match. I was sleeping. I did very poorly. I underperformed. My fencer performed to his best ability, I believe. And I was just not fencing well. Clean thrust from blue right of way as well. I attempt to countercut. I end up missing. Clean hit. No, actually, my mistake. Double, apparently. Let me see again. Yeah, I extended first. Sure. And right is essentially pulling around for that strike. And I guess I hit him on the arms, and he hits me on the arms as well. Mine is lower quality than his, but it's still valid. Okay. Double with priority to red to me. So 1 point right away from me, but on afterblow rules, which are the ones which sort of matter, it's points to him. Hit 2 hands from blue. Very straightforward, hit 2 hands from blue. I attempt to reach him, fail because he's pulling back. There he pulls back, he hits my hands. I was way too close for trying that hand snipe. Overall, in this tournament, I think I very often was too close to do the actions which I thought I would be able to do. Alright, clean trust from blue to head, 3 points, and after blow point as well. Here I'm trying to wake up. You can see that I actually reach his head. Here. Bang, head hit. And right after that, that's the point of the head hit. He also hits me on the head. That was on the verge of being a double, I think. But maybe I'll do this in after blow. That's double. Why am I giving myself right away? Well, I think because that frame, look at his blade. So at this point, I'm starting my attack and his blade is above his head. And that's why I gave myself right away. But still, it's a double. He chases very well, hits me on the hands, I attempt an after blow, which would not have mattered because it's... actually, it would have, because it would have given him only 1 point then, and the match is until 10. In eliminations, matches last until 10. So if I had landed that after blow, which is late to begin with, I mean, strictly speaking, it's not late, because here, that's my first action. I'm not changing to parry him or anything. That's my first action, during which he hit me. And then my second action is a deep lunge with an attempted after blow, which he parries. Yep, I just lost. I think I should have fenced better. Anyway, off to rapier, which ironically was my best performance with Alberto De Stefano, sorry. I don't do rapier, and I did the best in rapier. I don't know what's going on here. I threaten an attack, and it's a double. Here I threaten. Like, you can see me doing this ridiculous hop, and I wanted to get him to act. He doesn't, but I'm too close. I'm too close for this sort of action. And here's my extension. And it's a double. I'm not sure why I'm giving myself right away. It should be to blue. Maybe sort of because he didn't move his arm much, I just impaled myself, but that's, again, it should be to blue. Oh well. I attempt to thrust low, don't land. Attempt to thrust to head, don't land either. He attempts thrust above, misses. You can see it actually go inside my protection here, but it just bumps the back of the head. Meanwhile, my thrust lands. So yeah, 3 points to me and a right of way point. Attempt to thrust the arm, I fail. Hits don't matter except to the head. Same deal as before. He thrusts around me. misses, and cuts don't matter. Here he actually catches me on the back a bit. But I think this is just a fold of the jacket. Again, depending on how you judge this could be a double, because he definitely got me on the jacket fold. Here, at that point. There we go. But because it's the jacket fold and it's going backwards, and thrusts and cuts don't matter, so the thrust landed on here on the seam of the jacket, and that slice doesn't matter. So I end up giving myself the points for this one, both right of way and after blow points. I give myself points for this, but I'm a bit dubious about it. You can see that I sort of mostly caught it because he moved his arm to the side. But okay, let's say that this one was good enough. I'm not really sure, but it's his reaction, sort of, which sells it. Antonio Magotti in rapier. I had an excellent fight with Antonio, I really liked it. It went into extra time, I think. Attempt to throw slow, he hits me on the head. I can slow it down, but it's just going to be very clear for everyone. So if you want to slow this down, please do it for yourselves. I'm very weary of the fact that it's almost an hour in. I attempt to thrust. I land, a thrust on the body. Here. Cuts don't matter, except to the head. And that was a cut on the arm. So points for after blow and points for right of way for me. Apparently I was wrong. Apparently the first exchange where I think he hit me on the head, he didn't. Oh well, according to the scoreboard at least. Okay, right of way definitely on the blue fencer. So on Antonio, you can see him launch first. That's his launch. That's my launch. That's the moment I extend. But I feel that I'm already moving forwards with an attack. So for after blow it's going to be 0-0 if you ask me. But for right of way it's definitely for him. But I can see why the judges would think that, because that's the point of impact, and I've already started going up. I don't think that I had the time to change my intent given his attack, because I thought that I'll be displacing with my arm. So here you see me actually move to the side. Displacing with the arm is valid in this tournament, so I thought I would be displacing. No, I didn't. So I think it's a double, but right away to him. I almost reached, I think, here, but not quite. And thrust to the head, which misses from me. There we go, thrust to the head, misses, well, rather is displaced. His attack to my head misses. I try to reach him, but he pulls back. He tries to reach me, but I don't pull back, because I'm leaning in order to reach him. And from here I'm twisting and I'm cutting a part which doesn't really matter, but his attack appears to be flat. Bang. I don't see a twist on the wrist. So I think that's a flat from him and a knotting from me, because it's a hit to the torso. And strictly speaking, if the judges were able to see that, that's a point where they should probably award superiority because he can hit me on the head again. But they don't, and I think because I saw a flat, I would give it as a flat. But that score which they have 3-6 to him, perfectly acceptable. Because that flat is really hard to catch. Remember, flats don't count to the head. And with rapier only head cuts count, and head thrusts, of course. Okay. Apparently nothing. I think we both cut each other to the torso. Yep. That's a cut which lands on the torso. That he sort of lingers a bit and maybe reaches me on the head. I'm not sure though. Maybe he did. Maybe he did. So this one, I parry. I turn around and I should have cut higher to reach his head. You see, I almost land on the neck, but don't quite. But that's under his arm, actually. So if it was higher, I would have bumped into his arm, then I wouldn't have been able to complete the cut. And then I try to recover. He probably reaches me here, actually. So that should have been 3 points to him. Oh, I do award them. Well, yeah, it is 3 points to him. And right of way as well. He thrusts me to the arm. Right arm. I'm left-handed. He thrusts me to the arm. I would not call this target substitution. Again, it's there and I'm trying to displace him. I'm not placing it in front of my body. And then I thrust him to the head. Whoop. Blade bends very beautifully. So right of way to him, but points to me. Because, 3 points for a head hit and 2 points for a torso hit, for an arm hit. Okay, yep, head hit. Very weak head hit because it was through a guard. Still. I think it was probably okay. I think it was also maybe flat. I'm not sure though. But again, if I'm moving left to right, and I think it's left to right here, because I'm charging on my left. Look how much I'm charging, by the way, that sucks. But I'm moving left to right, and I land edge first, I think. And then he calls it, and then that is that. Okay. So right of way to me and 3 points to me. At this point I'm in the lead according to my own score. But maybe I'm not on the official score. Yep, I end up getting trust here, I think. Here I'm close. I'm too close. I see he'll try and attack. And I go into a parry. And then I try to displace with my offhand. And then I try to cut in. So you see at this stage I'm 7 and he is 6. On both counts, I think. But it's a win on extra time, I think, for this one. However, let me see. I'm not giving any points on my own scoring. Yeah, that's cuts to the arms. I think that's why. So thrust doesn't land, or it's a cut to the arm. Attempt to cut doesn't land. He cuts above, cut to the arm. Maybe target substitution, but my arm was not there to parry, it was there to wrestle. Stefano Roberto Bessi. He actually sent me a video of our last exchange. Thank you, Stefano. That was very helpful in trying to determine what happened there. Because from this camera, I couldn't see it. Believe it or not, that's points, apparently. But you can see that the judge behind me is skeptical. And I'm just as skeptical as he is, because to me that's a flat. It's not a trust. And he does not reach me either. But I get points. I shouldn't have. I attempt to trust. I do this in order to feint, go low. I try to trust, but he displaces me, and he trusts me to the body. And I try to return, but cuts don't matter. So punch to him. He attempts to thrust to the arm, misses. I attempt to thrust to the upper arm, miss. And that's a double with priority to him. You can see me very unsatisfied about that. My point is forward. I drop it. It's a bit arguable, because if my point is forward, he should be engaging it. But he does extend very well, and he's pulling and he's pushing forward. So it's priority to him, maybe, but I'm not sure if he shouldn't be engaging my blade first, because it was blade forward. Okay. Here it's nothing, I think. He attempts to trust me. I attempt to trust him. Blade kind of bends. And I think nothing happens. Nothing worthwhile anyway. And that's a clean trust from me. And his afterblow was late. Well, if you ask me, it wasn't particularly late. But there wasn't much commitment there. Just kind of, oh, not late but flat. And sort of not the trust. The trust misses and then gets converted to a slice, which doesn't matter because it's rapier. He attempts a thrust on me, and I initially thought he landed, but looking at how the blade bends, and given the other video, he sent me a video from that camera woman on his side, which shows that the blade goes behind me, and that's a clean thrust from me. Okay, so right of way and after blow to me. And on right of way we're actually even, but that's not what matters here. Luca Alonzi, that's eliminations. Doing this weird jumping thing again. Oh, that's not good. Thrust to head. And that's the point where I land, well, thrust to torso actually. That's the point where I land and his afterblow starts, and the afterblow actually... maybe he should have gotten... Maybe I should have gotten only 1 point here, because his afterblow sort of lands, even if only on a seam again. But he's definitely not with the right of way. So I initially gave myself 3 points, maybe I should have just given myself 1 point here. Weird jumping thing, which he completely doesn't buy, trusts me to the torso, and then I cut him to the head. Which must have been in tempo though. Or maybe... No, I attempt to cut him on the head, but he bends over, and I just hit him on the back. By the way, that's... I think that should have been a warning for exposing the head, because if not on purpose, I maybe instinctively didn't land it on the head, but instead of the back because of the turned head. But yeah, clean trust from him. After blow is not valid, so 3 points. And a right of way. This one was nothing, in case you didn't see. He attempts to trust. Attempt a cut, but it's a cut, it's not valid, and I'm not sure it even lands. So nothing whatsoever. Yeah, his trust misses. You see that he's almost there, but his blade does not bend. Why does the blade not bend? Well, because it's propped up against my arm and there's no cuts. And my trust definitely lands. So right of way and priority to me. Sorry, right of way and after blow to me. Again with the weird jumping. Attempt to trust. But his arm is extended way before mine. He trusts me on the upper arm, on my offhand, and I trust him to the torso, which should be... No, apparently nothing. Yeah, actually, yeah, double. That's why I didn't give any points in after blow rule set. Because here, I've started my attack. That's the point of impact, where I've already started. It's a very dumb approach from my side. I don't disagree, but I've started the attack, so it's a double with priority for blue. Curiously enough, the guy who is his corner man, I'll fight in the next match. I attempt a cut. Cuts don't matter. And I convert into a trust. But my trust misses, and his doesn't. Over the course of this match, you'll see my opponent dodging very low. And that's why one of the things why in my feedback I said that I think that there should have been a bit more yellow cards for those sorts of dodges. That's a double with priority for me, or I thought so from first glance. No, his trust misses. No, yeah. Then he slices my arm, but that doesn't matter. Slices don't matter. If cuts don't matter, then slices definitely don't. He thought he reached my head, he didn't. I'm sort of saying he did. He's like, no, don't worry. You can see him smiling. That's cute. Yeah, let's see again if he did. It's not very clean. It's not very clear, sorry. From this angle and with this camera quality. It's glad to see the other guy smiling. It's nice to see the other guy smiling. And I attempt an attack. And I look at my goddamn left leg. It's over the height of my knee. And then I know what I'll do next, because I always do it. I go high and I go low. I should try to change it for a moment and go low and then go high. Anyway, my trust is deflected with his arm. You can see I almost land there, but he bumps me with his right arm. And his own thrust lands on my upper shoulder. So 2 points blue. And right of way. Double, right of way to me. Sort of, but I should have actually engaged his blade. So right of way should have been to him, actually. Even if he's not engaging my blade either, and he's definitely starting to move after me. So my arm is extended, and that's when he starts his attack on my already extended arm. But I did not engage a blade forward, so actually it should be right away to him. I checked the rule set today. I didn't check it right before my first view. Okay, he fixes his sword. Apologies, cap. Guess who's here? It's the jump on the left leg. He attempts a thrust. Misses. I land a blow to the head. Look here. That's an attempted thrust, which is a miss. And I twist. And I attempt a head hit, which he parries. He returns a hit. Well, doesn't land actually. He returns to the guard. And then I turn around. I cut to the head. And that's what I'm awarding here. So 3 points to me and right away. But I think they saw the initial head hit from his side probably, which is fine. And here again, he has a yellow card for going out of the ring. Actually, it's possible on the previous exchange it was another yellow card. And that one was a red. So here, I'm threatening a lot and I'm pushing him because I've seen that my opponent is actually susceptible to pushing. And I want to play the distance game with him. And he manages to land cut a thrust maybe to my right arm. And at the same time, I miss, and then power up, and then thrust him to the torso, and then he's out of the ring. I'm not sure exactly what I'm giving here, to be honest. I think I am giving myself ring out points, which is why it made sense that it's 2 points. Because he definitely is out of the ring at the very end. But realistically, if nothing else, it's quite possible that this is nothing. Maybe thrust on my offhand, but I'm not quite sure. That's definitely a thrust to the chest. And then a ring out. So I think in the end here I'm giving myself 2 points for ring out for a red card, because it's his second ring out. But I think it should have been 3 points for the chest thrust, assuming that what I'm giving points for is the ring out. Here I thought he was ring out, and I was going to... I signaled it to the judges, but his front foot was actually on the line. And then I gave him some distance because I was... You know, I was the reason why he was kind of startled there. So. He attempts a deep thrust. That was a nice exchange actually. He attempts a deep thrust. kind of does not engage with my blade forward once again. For some reason, that's a very common thing in rapier. Both me and sometimes my opponents, they'll just, the blade is forward and they'll just go, oh no, I'm gonna trust with someplace else. And then I go around and I parry and I trust on his head. And then he sort of lands on my offhand, which I've held in front of my body, but I've tried to kind of, because I've seen his blade coming in and I'm retreating back, to not get hit. And it maybe lands on my offhand. So that's right of way to me because I gained it when I parried and then I had the right of way. But double hit on the offhand. Federico Walla, that's my final match. Fortunately, it's 1 hour 15 already. Federico Walla proceeded to win the gold. And he's an amazing fencer. I was really happy with that match. It was really close. He won that match on the official score. But actually you see here that I have a... It's very close, so it's hard to judge. It would come up a bit different on my first viewing. Let's see if I agree with myself on my second viewing. Okay, they gave him an arm hit, but I've not given such arm hits earlier in other matches. And you see that what he does is kind of land here on the front part of my hand. And I just kind of bump into the blade, and the point where it flexes is when it makes contact with my hand. So maybe that's 2 points to him, but I think it's no quality. Not really sure. 2 points to him would be also fair. That's why you have more than one judge. You have to have an opinion. Interestingly enough, this match did not end on time, and clock time here is much longer than 2 minutes. Okay, I attempt the trust. Look where I attempt the trust. I'm high, and then I go low, and he goes, no, you're not gonna. And he trusts me. But here I actually land as well, come to think about it. You see, here I land. And it's definitely right of way blue, but it's a double in every other respect. And it was annoying how bent was his blade, by the way, at this point. Already you can see the bend. And that I think I probably judged as right of way red, but no, not a double. He actually misses. And that's not a quality cut. So that's right of way and a after blow to me. After blow 3 points, I mean. Okay, he trusts me to the head, but I trust to the body. And I'm worried about how hard that thrust was. Because you can see I'm engaging, I'm too close to do that. And he's also engaging at the same time, and he lands a thrust to my head, and I land a thrust to his torso. So, true simultaneous. What happens here? He thrusts my torso here. And I was preparing to counter thrust, but I missed. So 3 points to him. And I convert into a head hit after blow to me. But right away to him, definitely. And I thrust to the torso. You can see the blade bent here at this point. And And he tries to hit me. I'm not sure if he lands though. I said he doesn't, but I'm not sure now that I'm looking at it. Either way, it's quite close. Alright, let's see. I'm engaging, I'm extending. He's trying to jump back and disengage, and his thrust goes to the side of me. And that's 3 points to me, and right away. And what happens here? Well, I get cut on the head because I'm jumping like a rabbit, way too close to him. And then I go, well, I might as well attack. You can see that I'm kind of sort of starting in the last part right before I get hit. Here on this frame. But I think I'm fine with this being called an afterblow. Head hit, no afterblow after head hit, even if it's a cut. So 3 points to blue and right of way. Ignore the fact that he has the red armband, my opponent is always blue. Here he raises his arm as if I'm the one who did something, but realistically, we both prepared, and nothing, sort of. He did not reach me, but I did not reach him either. Like, maybe I make some small contact here, but I don't think it has quality, and then it glances off his left arm. See? It's just on the top. He doesn't make contact, I don't make contact. And here is a stupid thing. Like, he doesn't have his point forward, and I start, and he starts at this frame, right? This is preparation, preparation, preparation. Here I'm starting, and he's also starting, and that's a pure double. Head to torso. And that's a pure double, head to torso, absolutely the same exchange. They try to give him points for the hand hit, but they don't. In the end, right of way to me, and you can see me extending at this point. And Federico is still preparing. That's where he started, one frame later. And I hit him and he hits me. But it's a double, one frame difference right away to me. Exact same engagement as last time. That's where I've extended, and he's still pulling back. And that's the point where he starts engaging. This one to me is clear right of way. The previous one was very much on the edge. So double with right of way for me. And I think this is the penultimate exchange for my tournament. Yep, same deal as before. Double, but no right of way. Maybe it's to him, but let me see. Well, yeah, I think it might be to him. It's annoying how bent his rapier is at this point. But yeah, doubles. And you can see the score is very even, the official one, 6-7. So I still had a chance at this point. And that's the last exchange, which is a very clean, very clear blow. But let's discuss the after blow. So here he trusts, and he's not landed yet, and I've started to parry, and I go above to parry, and he's definitely landed here, and I turn, and at this point he's turning his head, so I'm not a fan of that, because my natural fastest motion would be to go, I parry from right to left, and then I cut from left to right, but I don't. Maybe because of lack of skill, or maybe it's because his back of the head is showing. I'm not sure which of them it is. And I actually cut right to left, which is a afterblow, definitely, if you have a large afterblow window. But if you don't, which this tournament doesn't have a large afterblow window, it's not an afterblow, it's clean action from blow, which in the end I think I maybe even gave, yep, I gave it for clean action from blow, because I'm taking a long time to power up, maybe. Okay, that was the last match. I do have a small thing available as well. So if I just close this window, open this one. So let's look at the actual scores. Sidesword, this is the actual official score. And I have a generous action window with VAR and right of way. And you can see that where the when you have VAR and when it's with a larger window of the actions, both for larger double action and larger window for afterblows, I tend to perform better. No surprise. Right of way, I perform roughly the same, maybe a bit better compared to just the actual score. But it may be because it's not just right of way, it's a right of way with VAR after all. And also maybe some bias. I'm not free of bias, it's quite possible I'm biased. Okay, and those are my win-loss ratios. 6-6 with actual score, 9-3 with a generous action window and bias and VAR, and 7-1-4 right of way with VAR. Okay, the overall score is 77-72. That's hits given to hits taken, which is it's decent. But I'm happy with the fact that I never ever lost to 0. So in fact, I gave most of my competitors a hard match. That's 2-point difference, 2-point difference, well, 5-point difference, 7-point difference. Okay, that's the reason why I think this was my worst match. Okay, 7-point difference, 2-point difference, 4-point difference. So I think overall I was good opponent. Overall, I have 2 very clean matches, Longsword 3 and Rapier 1. Longsword 3 was not a clean match, but it was a clean score. And you can see that reflected here in the right of way. I think right of way was more generous towards my opponent, and I think that they fenced better than this score here. It shouldn't have been 9-0. That's a bit closer to truth, because we did a lot of doubles, which were not counted as doubles, they were counted as blow after blow, because if they counted as doubles, we would have been in a technical loss. It would have been like, okay, everyone loses. And then key takeaways. I start to close with my high prep stated fate, and it's unclear if I overestimated my threat or underestimate the range. A lot of people tend to ignore that, maybe, especially after they've seen it once or twice, where I go low and then I go low. This is with one-handed weapons mostly. I mean, I can't really condition this out immediately for turn how. For turn how, I'm going to be doing rapier and dagger. But I can focus on applying it on the right distance, which is probably 30 centimeters back. So if I'm going to do this, start my attacks earlier, essentially, you can see it sort of with each thrust, which I landed in rapier specifically, because we're looking at rapier last. A lot of my thrusts were having a huge bend, and I was very close in the end, which suggests I sort of start close to begin with. I can start from further back, I'm not that short. Okay, thrusts are too low, which is fine if I have right of way, but it's bad overall. I just need to exercise to thrust higher, which again, probably no time to do that before Ternava, but I'll try. There is a bad posture in the close work with longsword. Basically, my opponent, or if I come too close, then my next action comes with the waist bent. Which would work with more exercise with Zwerchhau, with Springen, so springing to the side and applying a better Zwerchhau. I extend too late with one-handed weapons, just more high thrust exercise. I do over preparations, and I don't do this when I'm not sparring. When I'm sparring, I often do it. I just go for very wide cuts and very wide powerful thrusts with preparation, which I don't need. I don't do this when I do this for drills. Drills I don't, it's not a problem. So it's a problem of pressure. When I'm under pressure, I tend to do it. So I need more sparring, I guess. Everyone needs more sparring. And yep, in one-handed weapons, I drop my point to thrust, which is just more thrusting exercise. That's the big thing, apparently, especially for one-handed weapon. Just thrust, and thrust, and thrust. And also thrust high. Don't thrust to the belly. No point. Thrust here to block the opponent. I was seated very low, but I did okay. So this means that I had more competition. I did okay. I think I should have done a bit better. But I think especially in sidesword, there was... the first match, you remember, it was that flat cut, which I don't think was flat. It was also one loss on time, which... It was 99 seconds. The timer in this video is at 99 seconds for this fight. Clean fighting time. And it should have been 120. I don't know. So especially in sidesword, I'm not happy. Longsword, I'm happy with my groups, but I was asleep in my elimination. I think that it's very possible that my opponent just did better than me. But I think I should have been a better opposition. Like this should have been maybe 7 to 10 or something like that. Realistically, I'm not that bad of a fencer. And I know I was asleep. I was feeling it. I was just not doing properly. I'm extremely happy with rapier. With rapier, I think I gave a very close fight to Federico. I mean, we were 6 to 7 until the final exchange. Curiously, that fight lasted 150 seconds. I have no clue why it happened, but this one was 150 seconds. This one was 99 seconds. I don't know. I don't know what's happening there with the timer. I function best with generous action window because I'm adapted to fighting on the Balkans, which has a larger afterblow window, larger double window. So basically 2/3, 75% maybe of all the afterblow calls in this tournament, I actually called here as a double. I did not call them as a afterblow. That loops back to the fact that 3 doubles and you're out and you get technical loss. And you can see this in my feedback video. You can see my thoughts on the topic. I function best with the general action window, but I do okay in right of way when the actual rule set is afterblow, which is not helpful, but you know, it is what it is. essentially. I hope that I will continue functioning well in right of way because I have 7 days until I get beaten badly by some excellent fencers in Slovakia. Okay, well, this has been an hour 35. Thank you for being with me if you have been here for the entire thing. I will upload actually two versions of this in the end. I will upload a unedited version and I will upload this full version. But this one was mostly exercise for myself to see where's my weaknesses. And I'm not sure if there are any strengths which I saw. Like I didn't focus on what I did well, which is wrong, by the way. Bit of advice as a trainer, because I'm also an instructor. It's also very good to focus on where you did well, because where you did well, where you did things correctly, helps you continue doing them better, even better in the future. But I didn't, which is not good, not good. I should rewatch and see what I did well. But what I did wrong, over preparation, fencing from too close, just very large threatening motions when there's no point, which are actually exposing me because I do them too close. Yeah, don't extend well enough, early enough. Yeah, that's been it. Thanks for being here with me. It's been 1 hour 36 minutes, and yeah, I hope we see each other again in various tournaments or in training. See you.